Okay, so welcome back for Game 3 here at the World Schools Festival, Patana Sports Resort. And we have a match-up between Sedbergh from England and St Michael's College in Dublin. So this team from St Michael's College was originally a primary school feeder to Blackrock College, but since the late 70s they split away and became their own standalone college. They made their first Leinster finals in 1988 and had their first win in 2007 and have got 3 more titles since then. They have some fantastic alumni, and in the last few years have been supplying over 20 players at any one time to the Leinster senior squad, which is effectively pretty much the Ireland senior squad. So fantastic history in St Michael's. They're coached by Emmett McMahon, and the director of rugby Andy Skean is here, and we are delighted to welcome their principal Tim Kelleher here, who is the father of Ronan Kelleher, one of the Ireland hookers. So looking at Sedbergh, they are coached by Simon Mulholland, who is from Christchurch in New Zealand, and the Sedbergh school goes all the way back to the 16th century, a 500-year history. Some of their famous rugby alumni are people like Will Carling and World Cup winner Will Greenwood. More recently, people like Cam Redpath, Josh Hodge, Bevan Rodd and James Botham have all figured at senior levels. So within their team, they've got some England 18s group squad representatives: Tom Burton at 15, Ben Redshaw at 12, who is the captain. Josh Harbour is Sale Academy at 10, and Will Wotton at 9 is also in the England 18 squad. Finn Baker at 5 is also in the 18 squad, and Kane James, number 8, is in the Wales under 18 squad. So we're expecting a fairly decent matchup. Both these teams have acquitted themselves very, very well across the week here in Patana. And here we see the familiar blue of St Michael's College from Dublin taking to the field, and the iconic brown jerseys of Sedbergh coming onto the field as well. This should be a matchup for the ages. St Michael's have pretty much taken over the top spot in Irish schools rugby. Blackrock College is probably the more well-known and steeped in history, but in recent years St Michael's have certainly taken it to them and taken in that. So Sedbergh from Cumbria, North England, coached by Simon Mulholland, like to play an open game with plenty of attack. So kicking off from left to right are St Michael's, playing in the blue jerseys with the wind at their backs in the first half, and our referee is Rainer van Tonder. So Rainer is from Johannesburg, South Africa, and he's part of the Besmet Golden Lions Ref Society, and last season was senior ref of the year. So high lofted kick in the wind. Sedbergh eventually come up with the ball, but a small knock on there, so St Michael's will be very pleased with that. St Michael's boys will be really anxious to try and use this wind in the first half to do everything they can to build a lead. So first scrummage, Will Wotton, part of the England 18 squad, with the feed. The ball now at the feet of Kane James. Sorry, Billy O'Donoghue. But a transgression within the scrummage. Referee Van Tonder picking up on that, and Sedbergh immediately looked to move the ball. Ball away in the contact, and some fantastic hands there. Ball into the hands of Sedbergh number 11, Wilbur Blackham. And a fantastic drive in midfield there. Will Wootton digs the ball out. Ben Renshaw, the captain, carries the ball to the line. Oh, some fantastic work on the edge there. Archie Evans. And they're coming back for a penalty infringement at the midfield ruck there. Rainer Van Tonder laying down the law early on. So a decent nudge there by Ben Redshaw. So Johnny Hansen with the throw, and a great take there in the middle. Some real tall timber in the middle of the Sedbergh line out. And Johnny Hansen on the ball there, driving at the back of this maul. And he breaks away, takes a few extra metres there. Will Wootton spreads the ball to Josh Harbour. Ben Redshaw, great ball out there to Tim Burton. The wrap around from Redshaw, some good footwork. Good tip on there. Great drive there by Finn Baker. Wootton takes a few steps, Harbour. And Keita Ando. Wootton good out of the back of the hand pass, and Josh Harbour with some in and out footwork there. Kane James, Welsh squad player, carries it forward, a pick and go there, tight to the line by Sedbergh. All hands to the pump there for St Michael's in defence. Dive for the line there. But a penalty there for going off their feet in the contact there. Just a few metres out. So it'll be interesting to see whether they go for the line out. So Finn Baker with a headgear towards the tail of this line out, and Tommy Triggs at number 4 standing at 2. So Johnny Hansen with the throw to this line out. Finn Baker with a fantastic take there. So Hansen with this, and a good drive towards the lines, looking ominous. Good D from St Michael's. But a great drive through there, and I think it's Johnny Hansen. Johnny Hansen who comes up with a first try there for Sedbergh. So some fantastic set piece skills there from the Sedbergh boys. As that fell away from him, Hansen did exceptionally well to hold his feet there, and only had Larry Kirkham, the winger, in front of him. So pretty daunting task for the winger to deal with the front rower that far out, and a good finish by Hansen. So 5-0 to Sedbergh School. And Ben Redshaw, the captain, in the England 18 squad, taking on the mantle of the goal kicking as well. And that is a pretty good nudge, straight into the teeth of the wind, hit it straight as a die. and nails the conversion. 7-0 Sedbergh over St Michael's College. So a good start to the game for Sedbergh. So St Michael's kick to the right, and unfortunately the wind is coming off the left touchline, and picks the ball up and floats it across the touchline. So not exactly what St Michael's would have wanted. Pretty sure that coach Emmett McMahon won't be too happy about having conceded the score to immediately give the scrum feed to Will Wootton of Sedbergh on halfway. So the Sedbergh backs predominantly lined up to the left-hand side, this near side, as we look at it. Be interesting to see what Kane James makes the move off. Will Wootton doubles around, takes the gap, lays the ball back inside, but it hits the floor. Harvey Johnson comes in and tidies up. And Finn Baker standing one off as the first receiver. So Will Wootton gets the ball to Harbour. Wide pass there to Charlie Turnbull, but he's knocked back in the tackle. Some sterling defence from St Michael's. A really crisp pass there from Will Wootton. Keita Ando in the red headgear drives that up. Some really decent continuity play there from Sedbergh, and eventually they come back for offside at the ruck. Referee Van Tonda. So Michael, a pretty decent start by Sedbergh. Really haven't let St Michael's play any rugby at all so far.
Yeah, they're retaining the ball very well, getting through the hands, and under pressure they're keeping their composure and obviously playing their patterns, and causing St Michael's some problems, both up front and in the back line, as they seem to have broken it a couple of times so far. So some things for St Michael's to concentrate on. But well done, Sedbergh.
Johnny Hansen puts the ball in, and Kane James comes in late with a good lift, but the ball drifting towards the Sedbergh side of the line out, so the referee judges it not straight. So we have a scrum feed.
First scrum.
No, this is second or third scrum, Michael. So we've had a couple of feeds for both teams. So James Sherwin, Leinster schoolboy, with the feed here. Pretty sure that the St Michael's team will be looking to take advantage of this wind. So the ball pulled backwards, and Willem de Klerk was playing at second receiver there, and has got the ball out to the 10-metre line. So I think Sedbergh would claim the advantage there.
I understand what St Michael's are trying to do with the long passes, but I think it would help with their 10. It just drifts across a bit more, allows the short pass to go to keep the ball in hand.
So Willem de Klerk, the fly half for St Michael's, is their captain. So they go long over the back, and Harry Miller, young 15-year-old, really does some good work there. St Michael's look to pull the ball out, drop the ball onto the toe here, into some space at the back, and some great play there. And some great work there by Larry Kirkham. Some really good individual skills there, and an opening try for St Michael's. So they've had little or no ball so far, and immediately get themselves. This is a fantastic finish. We missed the juggling skills there of Larry Kirkham. but nonetheless a fantastic finish there for St Michael's. So 7-5 with the kick to come. So Jules Fenelon, and the conversion is good. So the game locked up, 7 points apiece with just about 11.5 minutes on the clock here. I think St Michael's will be really pleased to have steadied the nerves and got themselves back. It was looking fairly ominous for them. Sedbergh playing some really good, fantastic continuity rugby. But giving the ball up at that line out, and St Michael's have come roaring back into this game, 7 points apiece. So Will Wootton, scrum half, will be taking this restart. And putting it relatively deep and finding the grass. And a good carry there by Joe Elliott. So James Sherwin with the box kick exit. Fielded by Blackham. Will Wootton, the little chip and chase. And a fantastic take there. St Michael's now on the front foot. The ball been left behind there, so Sedbergh contesting it, but diving on the ball at the base of the ruck. I think if he kept his feet there, he could easily have taken that. So an opportunity for Willem de Klerk, this South African born but Irish qualified fly half for St Michael's, to drive St Michael's to about 10 metres out with a line out. So this is the first concerted pressure that St Michael's have been able to put onto Sedbergh so far in this game. So Tom Stewart, the St Michael's hooker, was an Irish under-18 last year and is qualified to play again this year, so should hopefully make that squad. Great take there from Fraser McKenna, and a good setup here by St Michael's. Sedbergh really trying to get amongst this, but St Michael's carrying the ball forward, and it's gone down naturally, but St Michael's still have possession of the ball and off their feet. Sedbergh encroach, so the ball popped into the hands of de Klerk again. So looks like they're going to get to do it all again, just 5 metres closer. So safely into touch, de Klerk. So Tom Stewart will get another opportunity. So the tall timber of Joe Elliott at 4, McKenna and Maguire in the middle of this line out, and also Billy O'Donoghue. So Tom Stewart with the throw. Fraser McKenna, good take. The ball now in the hands of Tom Stewart. He's absolutely hidden himself in here perfectly. This is a skill that is not appreciated by many, but he breaks away. He gets him out 2 yards short of the line, and the ball is laid down. But Sedbergh defence, and a good jackal there, and referee Van Tonda gives the penalty to Sedbergh. So an awesome opportunity for Sedbergh and Ben Redshaw to clear their lines, but he's missed touch, kicking onto that far touch line. So some good hands there from Ethan Black, one of the younger players in the St Michael's team. Good drive there by Joe Elliott. Good post-contact meters there, keeping his legs pumping. Sherwin. Good tackle there by Johnny Hansen. And a fantastic tackle there by Archie Ivans. And Sedbergh again come up with the defensive jackal penalty. Willem de Klerk just checking with Van Tonder as to what's going on. So it's pretty tough to kick on to that far touchline there. And there we have the first half water break, with this game locked up at 7 apiece. So these two rugby colleges steeped in history, Simon, showing us some good rugby from both sets of players here.
Yeah, look, both quality sides have played some great rugby throughout this week, and both unlucky to lose to get to this playoff for Shield trophy. St Michael's edged out by Cardiff and Sedbergh edged out by Millfield.
And both those sides were unlucky to lose their semi-finals to Grey and Hamilton. So I think it shows the quality of all of these teams and just how close they are. And absolutely fantastic for these boys from around the world to get the opportunity to pit their skills against teams from around the world. Years ago, bragging rights were very much claimed around the world, but never in actual fact did the teams from South Africa, New Zealand, England and Australia and around the world get to play each other. So the World Schools Festival is a fantastic opportunity for these young men to shape their careers. So Emmett McMahon. Yeah, Emmett McMahon and his director of rugby, Andy Skean. They'll be very glad with how St Michael's have worked their way back into this game. Sedbergh again kicking to that right-hand touchline. Well kept in there, which gives de Klerk the opportunity. But eventually, it looks like the touch judge has given it as being touched from the penalty. So a valiant effort there by St Michael's Patrick Wood to keep the ball in. But it is a Sedbergh throw. Deep in the 22. So Johnny Hansen again. Finn Baker rising. He's the go-to man in the Sedbergh line out there. Johnny Hansen with his hands on the ball at the back of this Sedbergh maul, but they're kind of going backwards. And so I'm sure Van Tonder now they've got the nudge on. St Michael's shedding a few people on the left-hand side, and now they move to the right. Johnny Hansen still with his hands on the ball, driving forward. He's done exceptionally well here. And just short. Sedbergh recycle the ball.
What's the offside here, St Michael's?
Some changes in the Sedbergh front row. Aidan Stewart, Aidan Gresswell, and Jacob Butterill in there now. But Will Wootton digs it out. Ben Redshaw drops the ball onto his toe. But it's a knock on, so a pretty good opportunity there for Sedbergh. Goes a begging. So fantastic work by the Sedbergh forwards to keep that maul driving towards the line. And they went down about a metre short, looked after it, and then as they moved it, the ball was a little bit to the toes of Redshaw, who managed to knock it on. So James Sherwin pulls the ball out, and it's pumped very deep. I'm going to be honest. No, it's outside the 22. I don't know if you kick 22 to 22, whether you have to bounce the ball infield to make it a 50-22, or whether you can put it out on the full. I need to ask a referee for a ruling on that. So Johnny Hansen putting the ball Tom Loveday on as a replacement at the front of the line out here. And good take, Will Wotton again with a really sharp, crisp pass. Ben Redshaw. Some feet there. So Will Wotton again looks to move this ball away. Some good ground made, but St Michael's really putting the heat on in defence here. And a good wide ball getting to this edge. And Sedbergh trying to slip the ball in the contact there, but slightly forward. As you say, Simon, some fantastic intent. I think we can see the fingerprints of coach Simon Mulholland all over this team. And clearly he wants these guys to try what they can do. The ball slipped forward there to Wilbur Blackham. So St Michael's with the scrum feed just inside the Sedbergh half.
Good scrub by Sedbergh.
And a very good drive there by Sedbergh.
Got control from the start of that. All went down, all moved together.
So the ball in the hands of Alec Martin. Will look to try and peel off as many metres as he possibly can. In these conditions with the wind against him, he's really carved off about 10 or 15 metres there. So Johnny Hansen gets another opportunity to feed this Sedbergh set piece. And a great take there in the middle of the line out. They really have worked this well. James Hansen shows some great footwork there in the middle, and scragged down by Sam Corrigan from St Michael's in the end. Wotton to Redshaw, looks outside but carries it to the line. Now they come back, Hansen plays out the back, and they've got the ball here to Josh Marlowe on this left edge. Kane James, Welsh international for Sedbergh, drives forward well. Alec Martin, some good defence there from St Michael's, but adjudged offside. So Sedbergh playing some really controlled rugby when they get their hands on the ball. Some real heat coming from the St Michael's defence, and interestingly, Ben Redshaw opts for a kick at goal. So with 5 minutes to go to half time, he's obviously wanting to try and take every advantage of the territory that they've got here. Sedbergh have certainly rung the changes with their rolling substitutions. Coming onto the field, we've got Jacob Butterall, Aidan Gresswell, Aidan Stewart. And now coming back on, tight head prop Ando in the headgear. So Redshaw, another very assured place kick there. So Redshaw with a penalty, edges Sedbergh in a 10 points to 7 lead with about 4 minutes to go to half time. As we've said, if you're watching on YouTube, if you could smash the like button and also subscribe.
Nicely done.
So
Lovely kick-off.
great kick-off, hanging it on the touchline, leaving Josh Marlowe in two minds about whether it was out on the full or not. And as he tried to bring it back in, he gave up the line-out throw. So Tom Stewart, a great throw there. St Michael's recovering that ball and driving it tight. So inside the Sedbergh 22, de Klerk coming to the blind side here, gets the ball out to Larry Kirkham, the try scorer, who cuts back inside and takes it inside 5 metres. Sherwin to Stewart. So some great play, really putting Sedbergh on their heels here. A great tackle there from Aidan Stewart and forces the knock on. But Van Tonder, the referee, brings it back for an earlier infringement. So I think we'll see Willem de Klerk push this into the corner, try and use their set piece. So de Klerk puts it onto the 5 metre line. Puts the ball into the hands of Tom Stewart. And a great take there. But the ball was transferred in the air, and then he drove into the man in front of him. So accidental obstruction, some people call it truck and trailer. So a great take in the line out there by McKenna, but too eager to offload it. So it gives the scrum feed to Sedbergh. Will Wotton, who's been pretty impressive so far in this game, showing his credentials. So a scrum penalty there for St Michael's, really putting the pressure on Sedbergh, just 5 metres out. So we currently have 291 likes on the feed. We'd really like to get ourselves to 500 before we get to the end of this game, or the end of this half actually. So please do smash the like button. So St Michael's really turning up the wick on this Sedbergh defence now, and he's reached out to score it, but just short. St Michael's really pressuring this Sedbergh line. Some great D here from Sedbergh, and they go for it again, and it's given. So try for St Michael's. So this seesaw game.
And that's a great call by St Michael's, because they could have easily taken the 3 points, opted for to go for the try, and they've rewarded it. So good for them.
So try for St Michael's. (10-12). So a fantastic quarterback sneak there from I think it is number 7, Sam Corrigan. So Sam Corrigan, the try scorer. So just before half time, St Michael's now holding a slender 2-point advantage. This could well be the last play of the game. Jules Fenelon with the kick. Couldn't be much tighter to this touchline if it tried. And that is a fantastic strike, but unfortunately it drifts wide on the wind. So that is half time, with St Michael's holding a slender 12 points to 10 lead over Sedbergh as we hit half time.
We still got a bit of time.
What's the score? 12-10?
Yes.
For?
St. Michael. Last try gave
So as we come back from half-time in this very tight match, St Michael's 12, Sedbergh School 10. Here at half-time, it's the World Schools Festival, Patana Sports Resort in the beautiful kingdom of Thailand. As we've said, the next year's tournament, 2023, is Tuesday the 12th to Sunday the 17th of December. There will be Cup, Open and Girls 10s tournament. So for any of those prospective schools, try and put yourself on the map and be here for this absolutely iconic tournament here in Thailand. As we've said, the World Schools Festival has already propelled a number of young men to full international honours. Evan Roos, Jaden Hendricks and Kanan Moody have all represented the Springboks since appearing in the 2018 version of this event in Thal. So again, you're watching this through Rugby Pass YouTube channel. Please subscribe and hit the like button. It really does help us with the engagement, and if you can share it, and if you're posting anything on social media, hashtag WSF 2022 with all of your posts. So as we come back from half time, the wind has picked up a little bit at the back of Sedbergh, who kick off this second half 12 points to 10 down. As we've said in the previous game though, it's the teams that score the points and not the wind, but it's certainly a great opportunity, and it looks like Will Wotton is kicking off. Good high kick, but well taken there by St Michael's, and they've secured possession of this ball. Go to their one-off runners, and James Sherwin looks to be pulling the ball back to de Klerk, who finds the grass in the middle of the field. So Sedbergh field this, and they look to play open rugby. Oh! And Jules Fenelon read that perfectly, but just juggled shy of his hands as he tried to pick it up. So Alec Martin secured that. So Kane James drives it hard into contact. This young Welshman Alec Martin spreads the ball. And they go to the wide channels where they've got some big fellas out there looking after it. Another sharp pass from Wootton. Josh Harbour gets the ball to Redpath, the skipper.
Pressure.
And, big pressure, but a knock on in the tackle there. Great pressure there and follow through by James Sherwin. So this game very, very competitive.
St Michael's really coming off the line quickly and stopping Sedbergh getting across the game line. And they've got to find an answer if they're going to break out of this their half.
Ben Howard on at loose head for St Michael's. And on the open side here, Sam Corrigan, who scored that try just before half time to take the lead. So also on Rian Coogan at tight head, and Irish international hooker Tom Stewart still in the middle of that scrummage. Billy O'Donoghue at 8. But it's a feed to Sedbergh. It will be interesting to see what tactics. So Kane James to Will Wootton, who dropped into the pocket, and he has put in a monster kick to the rear left corner. And it's a good clearance back to halfway. That's a great exit for St Michael's.
Saved his forwards a walk.
So a good set play from the base of that scrummage. Kane James and Will Wootton dropping back into the pocket for the long kick to grass, but a really good return from St Michael's there. So Aidan Stewart with the throw down to Wootton. Alec Martin. That's a fantastic run in midfield there
Too far
from Charlie Turnbull.
Great kick.
And a fantastic kick there, which will and should be a 50-22.
Thought he'd gone too far because a lot of times the guys have been kicking him around that part, thinking they'd nudge it in. It goes over the dead ball line. But beautiful skill there,
So Sedbergh early in this half putting together some pressure. They have a line out, about 6 metres out from the line. Aidan Stewart with the throw. Oh, that's a big lift in the middle, but a sack immediately. I think the referees had judged it as playing the man in the air, taking his legs out. So it's a penalty in 15. Or I guess they could take the line out, but they're gonna kick it to touch. So they do. They opt to just the new law where if you have a line out infringement that goes to penalty, you can go straight back for the line out without having to kick it. So Finn Baker, Kane James still the men to go to, and Finn Baker rises at the front of this line out, and they've got the ball to the back of this ball. Aidan Stewart with the ball under his arm. He should keep that hidden from St Michael's as everything shears off. Really good defence from St Michael's there. Again, another good tackle there. And another penalty for hands on the floor. Will Wootton goes early, but runs straight into the defence of St Michael's, but gets them to about a yard or two outside. Sedbergh pounding the St Michael's line. The St Michael's defence is good, but again another infringement there. Be interesting to see how long referee Van Tonder puts up with these goal line infringements from St Michael's, but really showing. So Will Wootton making sure that the referee knew what was going on there. Good old kidology from the scrum half. So interestingly, We've not seen too many kicks at goal from anybody in this tournament so far, Simon, and Captain Ben Redpath backs himself just a few metres out, just to the right of the uprights.
Look, I think this is a wise decision because, you know, they've still got 5-10 minutes left in this session, and then they've got the final session. It's heat sapping energy out of there, and they can just keep the scoreboard ticking over, put them one up, keeps the pressure on St Michael's, playing into the wind.
I saw some of the Sedbergh coaching staff at breakfast this morning, and they were remarking on the temperature difference between Cumbria and Patana. And Redshaw in this seesaw game regains the lead, so 13-12 to Sedbergh, with Captain Redshaw wresting the lead with another successful penalty goal. And a crucial thing that Sedbergh scored first, so should there be any draw at the end of this game, Sedbergh would take the win. So Willem de Klerk kicks to the right. The ball holds up in the wind. That was well judged in the end by Aidan Stewart. Would have been easy to have not moved his feet and reach with his hands, but he did well there. So Wooden pushes the ball back to Alec Martin. He gets a low one on the ground. Willem de Klerk is back here and makes a run, beats the first tackler, almost gets past the second. Really good clean out there by St Michael's. Sam Corrigan carries the ball into contact there. Sherwin. And real pressure coming on from Sedbergh here.
Going backwards.
So St Michael's. Ben Howard.
He's over. He's got
Lucid Prop carrying it into contact.
Great jackling.
Sedbergh
number 7.
get the jackal, holding on. So some really good work there.
I wouldn't be surprised they have a pop at goal from here.
So Jacob Buttrell winning that. So Alec Martin has the ball in hand, and there's a little bit of a discussion. I would imagine if they've got any sense, they'll kick it to the right-hand touchline, but he's opting for the left. As we said, the wind coming off there, but that's a very, very good kick in this wind. Takes play down to about 7 metres from St Michael's line here. Still 22 minutes to play in this heat down here in Patana.
Imagine Sedbergh will catch and drive from here.
So 32 degrees, so Finn Baker rises. He's been imperious in this line out so far. He's been the go-to. But although the ball went down, he's given it as accidental obstruction. So 32 degrees here currently, 55% humidity, so gives a heat index number of 35 degrees, which if you are tucked up in England or Ireland watching this game, I'm pretty sure that it won't be quite as warm for you. So again, as a reminder, if you can hit the like button and subscribe to the Rugby Pass YouTube channel, that would be good. So James Sherwin digs the ball out. A good hard carry there. So Sherwin pops it up to his big fellas there, one off. Good carry there from Ben Howard. Now comes back to de Klerk, who pushes it.
Great kick. That's a very good kick against the wind.
Yeah, fantastic.
What's that,
kick.
about 30-40 metres?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So an absolute raft of changes for Sedbergh. Probably about 7 or 8 changes. Now looks like they're rolling back to some of their initial starters. Finn White there at the tail of this line out. Kane James, Charlie Turnbull. Another good throw there, but the ball's bobbled down and off the top. But a judge to have interfered in the air. So Will Wooten has been the heartbeat of this Sedbergh attack, and as you predicted just a few moments ago, Redshaw opts to take this, probably the optimum place on the paddock to take a long kick, because the wind is following. It's coming off that left touchline, and he's on the 15 metres, so
10 knot wind, I'd say. Get the palm trees.
You sound like a sailor there with a 10 knot wind.
There's a really good thing by the palm trees. If they're starting to bend over at the horizontal, you're looking at 10 knots plus.
10 knot wind. So I've got to say, it's blowing our papers all over the place here in the commentary box. So Redpath lines up this kick, couple of steps.
Oh God, he's got some distance on that, and he's successful.
He's successful.
Great kick.
So we've got to say that is very much a captain's knock so far from Redshaw. He's extending their lead to 16 points to 12. Sedbergh over St Michael's College from Dublin.
Nice hanging ball from the kick-off. And they've managed to retain it. Well played, St Michael's.
So fantastic work from St
okay.
Michael's, really getting their hands through the contact there. Tom Stewart in this wide channel steps inside and looks for the big fellas to help him out. Sherwin digs it out. They play out the back to de Klerk, and then to Andy Cosgrave. Great offload. Fraser McKenna in the wide channel there. Good to see the big fellas popping up. There's Ben Howard with another carry. And Sedbergh look to have isolated this and got in on the contact there. Aidan Stewart and Aidan Gresswell. Oh no, sorry. Charlie Turnbull, some great work there. Some really measured defence from the Sedbergh boys there. And the ball is kept in field there, and it's bouncing, and Willem de Klerk gets his hands on it. In field to Andy Cosgrave. Goes to the toe. And a great bit of work there. And now number 20, Alec Martin. So that. So Archie Callahan drags that ball away there. Will Wooten has recycled. So Sedbergh playing some really controlled rugby here. I think the game management has been absolutely fantastic. They put the ball on the toe there, and Andy Cosgrave tries a banana kick, but the referee brings us back for an earlier infringement there. So ball in the hands of Ben Redshaw. So we're just about halfway through this second half, and it looks like the referee has called for the water break. So a slender 4-point advantage for Sedbergh over St Michael's. But it's got to be said, the game management from Sedbergh has been absolutely fantastic, Simon.
Yeah, look, I mean they've worked with the wind. They've kept great ball retention in the breakdown, and their set piece is paying them dividends, particularly in the lineouts. And their number 10, de Klerk, is it? Yeah.
De Klerk is St Michael's.
Sorry,
Josh Harbour is the number 10.
Pardon. He's been really dictating where the ball's going to go. And congratulations to them. And again, game management on that penalty. It means St Michael's can't just sort of rely on a penalty to get them back in. They've really got to score in this next session to take control of the game.
So Simon Mulholland there in the middle of the Sedbergh huddle, the Kiwi from Christchurch. As I said, we can see his fingerprints all over this. They're playing open running rugby when they can, but also some fairly pragmatic control of this game as well. Will Wootton has been at the centre of that with Alec Martin and James Harbour. Finn Baker and Tommy Triggs have been absolutely colossus in the line out, and some of the Sedbergh fans there look like they're probably parents sporting the white trilby there. So we're coming back with about 15 minutes to run in game 3 here in the World Schools Festival, and Ben Redpath is backing himself for what would be about a 53-metre kick at goal, which is a bold attempt. There is absolutely no question that this man has taken the captain's armband with some fervour, and he only comes off a couple of steps here. I know there's
again, it's good game management, because
really
if he misses, he's going to...
stiff breeze. He's certainly got the distance.
Wow!
And that is a fantastic kick. That was pretty much still going up as it crossed the
bar.
Went over the crossbar. Yeah, I'm really impressed with the way Redshaw has taken this on. So a 19-12 lead, and it's left a pretty ominous thing for St Michael's to have to follow up, and they immediately put the ball out on the full. So 19-12, and Redshaw.
And look, even if he hadn't got that cookie, that would have meant a dropout, and the ball goes back to Sedbergh. So it's great game management on Sedbergh's part.
Yeah, fourth penalty, fifth kick, and yeah, fantastic work. So James picks the ball up, swings it to Will Wootton, who grubbers the ball through end over end
off St Michael's.
So that was all came from the kick-off transgression by St Michael's. Sedbergh took the scrummage, and it's intelligent play by Will Wootton. As you say, off St Michael's, so it is a throw for Sedbergh. The ball in the hands of Will Wootton. Josh Harbour carries it to the line. Some good cleaning out work there in the midfield.
Oh,
Redpath,
nice.
long pass out to the left edge of Sedbergh. And again, some great play there, tidying up that ball, taking responsibility for it. So Wootton, good tip on there to Kane James. A really solid carry there. Oh, Wootton. That's what I call a Will Genia or a George Gregan. Fantastic play by this young 9.
St Michael's player down.
Josh Harbour drops the ball back into Charlie Turnbull. He's
St
really
Michael
taken some
down.
Metres out here. Will Wootton again with some trickery to Jacob Butterill. So Wootton, he's absolutely creating havoc here. Ball popped up to Aidan Stewart. And now as they spin the ball wide, Finn White. This could be the hammer blow for Sedbergh if they can get something out of this. Wootton to Harbour, drops it onto the toe, pushed into touch in goal. So again, some really fantastic game management play, just putting the ball in behind. And we've actually got a stoppage here. We've got a couple of St Michael's players down injured in back play here.
I think it's the Sedbergh number 1 coming off as well.
So some real fantastic play there from Sedbergh number 9, Will Wooden. He had about 5 or 6 carries in that latest phase of play, 3 or 4 out the back of the hand, and things that Gregan and Genia would have been proud of.
Now look, St Michael's aren't protecting the ABC channel either side of the breakdown, and this is what Sedbergh's exploiting at the moment.
So a couple of the St Michael's players coming off. Unfortunately, their captain, Jim White, was injured earlier in the week and unable to take any part today. There's a big hand for one of the St Michael's players coming off on the touchline.
Looks like an HIA.
And we've actually still got another one of the St Michael's players down in back play. The medics and mechanics are also looks like a lower leg injury, this one. So we're being carried, or help from the field. So when we come back to this, we will have a line out of 5 metres out from the St Michael's goal line. Sedbergh with just under 10 minutes holding a 19-12 lead. So wherever you're watching this game from, if you could subscribe to the YouTube channel, would be fantastic. Finn Baker rising again, but a great defensive drive from St Michael's.
Great response. Just what they needed.
And a rather technical offence that I saw blown just 2 weeks ago. If you pass the ball back over the top of a player in a ball line out like that, it's considered obstruction. You must pass the ball back through every set of pair of hands of the players bound in. So Rainer van Tonder showing us his knowledge of the laws of the game. So an opportunity now for Chris O'Connor to feed the St Michael's scrummage. They're deep in their own half. And another scrum penalty for Sedbergh, really turning the screw here on St Michael's.
I imagine he's going to go for post again.
And
Yep,
he's going for goal again. This is most definitely cup final rugby. There is no tomorrow. No need for bonus points or fancy scores.
Put it beyond, I think.
And I think, to be honest, this is Sedbergh showing a high degree of respect for the St Michael's defence, which has been absolutely fantastic throughout this game. Only so far leaking 1 try that was scored early on by Johnny Hansen. Since then we've had a couple of tries from St Michael's, but this man with the boot has been absolutely fantastic. He has been literally metronomic, and particularly in this second half. That is his 4th penalty of this half, and takes the lead now out to beyond 7 points, so 22 points to 12.
Big hit.
So Sedbergh have a pod in field that drives this up. Will Wooden at the base of this looks like he's potentially shaping up for a kick of his own, and he's got his runners. And Dave Lucy at the back there brings the ball back across to de Klerk, who puts it on the toe and is looking for the chip and chase. But great work there from Archie Callahan of Sedbergh. And Josh Harbour, raking kick, fielded by David Lucy. He's looking to bring the ball back. St Michael's have got to have got to run from deep here. Good footwork there from Mark Caniff.
Oh, intercepted.
Oh, and a great interception there.
That's game.
Wilbur Blackham, and I would say that is the knife through the heart for St Michael's. Another try there for, well, a second try for Sedbergh that takes the score to 27-12 with the kick to come from under the posts, or virtually under the posts. They really had to give it everything, and the ball was floated out, and Blackham read that all the way, and he's got the speed of foot, this young man, and didn't look back. David Lucy despairing, but it's now 27 points to 12 with Redshaw to take the conversion. Already got 17 points in this game. But sadly, no perfect finish to the game for Redshaw. We've got about 3.5 minutes to go, with Sedbergh holding a 27-12 lead over St Michael's College, Dublin. High and hanging in the wind, and slightly into the sun, and a mistake there, and a little bit of afters on the floor there. So, as we've said throughout this game, passion's running high, which is very good to see. So, great opportunity here for Chris O'Connor to feed this St Michael's scrum, which may well be looking for what might only be a consolation score. And they're more than 2 clear scores behind. But let's see what they can do here. The ball to de Klerk, takes the ball to the line, drops it inside to Lucy. O'Connor swings this ball, gets it into the hands of Ryan Coogan. O'Connor gets it to O'Donoghue. And Sedbergh coming offside in defence there. So de Klerk looks like he's going to try and push this to the corner.
They want to go out on a high, don't they? Good for them.
Is one of them going to be able to help with the next game? Yes, so a good kick there from de Klerk. So St Michael's have really been deprived of too much possession so far this half. Tom Stewart, their international under-18s hooker, with the feed to this line out. And a great take in the middle there, and a good setup. Need to get the ball back into the hands of Tom Stewart here. And he's got himself hidden away. Some of the Sedbergh boys peeling off. And this could well be, well, Sedbergh boys doing well not to give anything away here. But it looks like a try there for, well, it's given as a penalty try. Penalty try, and there could well be a yellow card to come from this. Reaching into his hands for the piece of cheese. And sure enough, Sedbergh will finish the game with only 14 men. So 27-19. If they could get themselves a quick score, who knows what is possible. They are 8 points behind. So Will Wotton gets the ball back into play. last chance saloon, I think, for St Michael's. But a fantastic jackal over the ball there by Sedbergh. And given the pragmatic way that they have played so far, it wouldn't surprise me if they kick to touch or Redshaw goes for goal again. Tap and kick. And that is full time. And a very assured win, 27 points to 19. Sedbergh School over St Michael's College from Dublin. But that was a fantastic display of rugby from both sides, full of enterprise and initiative, and in no way do St Michael's go home from this game with anything but credit. But a really, really pragmatic game managed win for Sedbergh, Simon.
Yeah, look, and that was, I think, really down to the game management in the second half. And obviously their captain taking command of the points and keeping the scoreboard ticking over.
Yeah.
And, but well played St Michael's. Some great defence, some lovely skill shown in both halves with that beautiful try by their winger, number 14, individual skills. And however, Sedbergh are I know it says Cup Open, that was the first game, and in fact it's the Shield Trophy winners.
Yeah.
So congratulations to Sedbergh.
Absolutely, and you could see the joy on the Sedbergh players when the final whistle went. Some fantastic performances to the fore there. Will Wotton, the halfback, was a live wire all day. Finn Baker rising in the line out, and Kane James at number 8, and Ben Redshaw 17 of his team's points. So fantastic win, and let's hope that Sedbergh and St Michael's both have good trips home back to Northumbria and Dublin. Thank you.
Let's go, Johnny! Let's go, Johnny! Let's go!